Yo, it's your boy Rush. I'm in the building, promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, you need armed guards or unarmed guards. You could, you know what I mean, call up my business line, or Rush you, Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey, or you can pretty much hit me up on the Instagram. You heard? Today I got my boy Wale in the building. We're gonna talk about the sins of Sinister, and yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a dope show. You heard? What up, Wale, man?
What's going on, Rush?
Yo, it's been a while, man. We haven't done one of these in a ill minute. You heard?
Right.
Word out. Yo, today we gonna talk about the sins of Sinister, man. Pretty much his origin story is based on like him coming up from in the 19th century of London or whatever, and his government name is Essex. And he pretty much grew up in London, and he was known to be a renowned geneticist slash scientist back in the day. What caused him to you know what I mean, get into with his research and all that, with the gene splicing and all that, because his son died from a serious illness or whatever. And pretty much he was pretty much obsessed on creating the perfect human body. Yo, salute to you, Eve. I see you in the building. You heard? Yo, man, what's your thoughts on that? You remember anything from his origin story? Wale, man, talk to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, so Sinister pretty much is, in most cases, is the true biggest boss within X-Men series overall, because he is literally the oldest mutant of, as far as we know, like as far as how he was depicted, he was the oldest mutant of all time. As we all know how they depicted Charles Xavier and Magneto. Looking at Professor X and looking at Magneto, they were quote unquote the white versions of the mutants, as the Martin Luther King and then of course the Malcolm X. But one small difference though is, a lot of people say, Martin Luther was more of a co-op man because he was working with the man overall, but in this one he was depicted more as the guy that's not just in the simple sense of working with the man, but also having a long history of this ancestor, trying to battle and expose this, this entity that is Sinister. And it's been a long history. Once they describe that history the way they did in one of the anime series that I remember seeing, because I'm more so close to the TV shows than the comics. I never had to really be able to read the comics that much back in the days. So I wasn't fortunate. But as far as I remember, yeah, that was like a deep-rooted history across the board. And yeah, but with Sinister, yeah, he was definitely a mad scientist. Eventually he figured out how to make himself quote-unquote immortal to avoid and invade death. But sadly enough, he couldn't, do it for his others, do it for his wife and kids like he wanted to.
Yeah. Now, in the comics, the way he excelled to the next level, he actually bumped into Apocalypse, because Apocalypse was living in that time. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you know, as when he linked up with Apocalypse, the Apocalypse gave him the ability and the equipment to enhance his research, because how he got the name Sinister, his wife gave him that name because his wife found the body parts of their first dead child or whatever, and Mr. Sinister put different body parts on it, trying to create the perfect quote unquote human to to have the immortal body or whatever. And when she saw this, her child's body being used for this experiment, she called him the Sinister right there and there. And that's when Mr. Sinister, the character was born. Know what I mean? And
Right.
it's interesting on how Apocalypse, linked up with them, and like, do you know anything about that or?
No, I do remember that when they linked up, and I think honestly it was a smart play because for the simple fact that Apocalypse was actually because Apocalypse is actually ahead of his time. So the fact that Apocalypse is ahead of his time, and then of course Sinister was like the second, like I said, the second most upbringing mutant after him, and there probably more, but just as Ryan that tempo of level, yeah, he's like the second branch off of level of mutant. But yeah, I think that what they show that was pretty much like just simply knowing how it goes. Because I think at best, what Sinister was doing at the time of him creating mutants, he was able to develop mutants to a higher degree, right? But the problem is, trying to always look for that perfection, that high end goal of perfection. I think that was the thing, and he knew that whatever he's using, it wasn't enough. Whereas with Apocalypse, it was on a whole other tier because Apocalypse is giving him ancient tech that is beyond his time and on
Right.
Send that, yeah.
Yeah, because technically Apocalypse is not even from Earth. As you looking deep into his story, like his origin story, like how you mentioned about the quantum computers within the Egyptian pyramid, there's a ship under there within those pyramids. I mean, and
Right.
that's what most of the technology that Sinister was using was similar to that kind of tech. So yeah, you're right about that. You know what I mean? And I just like this character Sinister, man. Like I really digs the character, man. Like I understand how he just pretty much his psyche was broke because of his son's death. That's what made him so obsessed of what I mean, trying to create
Right.
the perfect body, but also like he also wanted to create a body for what's his name, Apocalypse, because you know how Apocalypse, he snatches up the like in due time every time he transfer his his
Life
consciousness to a
Force.
new mutant.
Yeah.
That's what he does, like in a certain period of time. Like he'll kidnap the most powerful mutant and transfer his consciousness within that mutant. I mean, and Scott Summers' son, is pretty much was used for to make the perfect powerful mutant for the Apocalypse. It just so happened that it didn't pan out like that for Cable. You know what I mean, Cable ended up just doing his own thing and got into like military and stuff like that and doing like time travel and try to I guess save his timeline. You know what I mean? But the whole purpose of Sinister trying to make the perfect mutant between Jean Grey and Scott Summers is to make the perfect mutant for Apocalypse to take over or whatever. Know what I mean? Now
Yeah, pretty much.
now yo, are you familiar with the Judgment Day comic based on Krakoa?
I'm familiar, but I haven't. I don't have full intake, but I do got some notes. So yeah, go ahead.
Where yo expound on that real quick, and I'll chime in.
All right, so just to give us a quick second, let me find some of these notes that I actually took down. And you're speaking on the Judgment Day part, right?
Yeah, Judgment Day.
All right, so pretty much Judgment Day was, so this comic that we're speaking about right now is pretty much the involvement of the X-Men, the Avengers, and surprisingly enough, the Internals, right? Sinister played a significant role within that storyline when it came through. If I'm not mistaken, this one. Now I don't know the one you talking about, but as far as the one I researched, they said this was a crossover event of the 2022. I don't know if that's a reprint or however it is as far as the latest.
Yeah. That's the latest one because because there's three series of this. I broke down
Yeah.
the first two. The first one, well, the second one was based on Tony Stark's linking up with the well, not linking up, but reviving the God of Iron, which was a
Right.
celestial. And and
Right.
his name is Progenitor. When he revived him, because he was dead or whatever. So when he revived him or whatever, he put judgment upon, I mean, all the mutants and the Earthlings on Earth or whatever. And if you pass his test, he'll let you live. Know what I mean? But this
Right.
third giant with Cocoa, right? This is based on Sinister taking over the minds of most of mutants and humans
Right.
on Earth. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
his thing was like I guess he wanted to just take over the world and do his own thing or whatever. Now you want to expand that on a little bit? You want to expand
Yeah.
on that?
So you're right. So pretty much the like you just said before, right? It was pretty much centered around the conflict between the Eternals and the mutants, with the Avengers caught in the middle. The Eternals believing that mutants are a devastation that must be corrected and declare war on them. So, right, the major element of the story, like you said before, progenitor,
Mm-hmm.
right, the powerful Sentinel who decides to judge all humanity and Earth's humans, right? So, as far as for Sinister, like one of his main roles, of course, being the Krakoan mutant leadership, involving the strategic decisions during the conflict, his schemes, including the genetics experiments and manipulation, plays a role in how the mutants prepare for the Internals' assaults. One of those many plannings of just being able to strategically handle the Internals. Because you already know Eternals are the big and bad, which is why they're special entities that really don't play too much parts other than this big thematic moment right here. So, of course, you already know it was the scheme and manipulation, right? Because that's usually one thing with Sinister. He's always gonna do some manipulation, which guarantees him to sustainable to keep on growing and leveling every single time, to stay around the bush of just surviving long enough to do what he wants to do. And a lot of this was just so he can just make sure he can prepare and be able to combat the Internals, even though we all know that wasn't going to be too much far behind because he will see his day. But yeah, because pretty much he was like, his main role within this was setting up schemes and manipulation, making sure he was the leadership of the Krakoans, and then of course being able to try to avoid judgment, even though judgment was coming his way, right? For just the general part. What you take from there?
Word, yeah. Now, cause okay, all right, like, if y'all didn't heard if you guys didn't listen to the last stream, a stream I did a while back based on Judgment Day, like, there's two sets of locations where they have all the mutants link up, but the Cocoa, right, all the mutants on Cocoa that's there, they're considered to be the Quiet Council. Now, the Quiet Council possesses all the Omega level mutants, which mean godlike type abilities. I mean,
Right.
and yeah, and pretty much Xavier was the main leader for that joint. Magneto was second in command, and Frost, she had a position over there too, Elma Frost or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And pretty much this council, they pretty much regulate things between, the mutants and the beef they got with the celestial. Like you said before, the celestial didn't like the X gene because they think all mutants are bad. You know what I mean? And and they in their ideology, they believe that mutants are a hindrance for the human race. And
Right.
basically, Professor X was the leader of the joint. You know what I mean? But because of Sinister taking over the minds of the mutants and the mutants within the Quiet Council, he was able to
Overthrow.
overthrow. You know what I mean? Overthrow certain camps or whatever. And the people, I would say, that wasn't um uh the mutants that wasn't not caught up in this mental possession was the Avengers. You know what I mean? And pretty much like it's like like they're getting into it with the Avengers and the Celestial, and
Right.
yo, what's your thoughts on this whole storyline? Do you think this is a pretty good comic? And what would you rate this comic?
Uh, as far as the whole comic goes, I mean, yeah, I think it is a story because, like I said, when you involve the level of people that are involved, which is Sinister, which is Apocalypse and everything, it does raise it to that level because usually X-Men is usually at the tier level of street level, mutants or battling street level mutants in most cases, right? But when they take this battle with the Eternals, now this is on a whole nother scale. This is on a scale of space threats and everything else of that nature, godlike entities, So with this is a true battle of survival, but not survival as far as to survive in war, but to survive as a whole, as a whole race of genetified human beings with powers. Because this
Right.
could be the extinction of you.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so this can be possibly the extinction of you, right? And to pretty much be told that your life can easily be wiped out in a matter of a snap of a finger, that is huge. That is huge because these entities that are the Internals, they have no carence for emotions or anything like that, or reasons for what the reasons you chose life or how you chose to do it, anything like that. You had to literally be of sound mind to just and make these choices, and these choices must be very quote unquote reasonable, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Professor X actually had a relationship with one of these Eternals. If I'm not mistaken,
Oh, which one?
wasn't it the one?
Oh, yeah, he did, but I can't.
Yeah,
Go,
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. He had a relationship with one of those. I don't know, like if it was a close, like I know it was a close one, but not like like love stuff like that. I don't pick and choose because that one was a very what I was gonna say. That one was a very like long long induced episode of how they were planning that out. So yeah, and with all the calamity and all this, you really couldn't really definitively say what their relationship was, even though it was a good one.
Right.
But yeah, so because that's the one thing about Professor X, you have to sit here and say he's a diplomat and he's a reasonable diplomat where he's trying to reason with people. Now, as far as with the Avengers in the mix, that just brings on extra as far as it's crazy because what they call the Avengers, the world's mightiest heroes, or right, right. So it's like, but when you look at the Avengers, not everyone on the Avengers is a mutant. They're neither a human with gear as making them humans, or they're neither gods, right? So, or they're neither genetically enhanced, which is funny because that's what they usually are, right? So,
right.
With that said, is like, they're pretty much the humans in the middle that are willing to push forward with the fight to have a resolve. So, which is why they're in the middle, in a sense, right? Where you have the mutants and then the eternal, or these godlike beings, the Eternals and the Apocalypse and everything else. So it's like you got mutants, you got humans, subpar humans with, with gear or genetical, injections, and then one particular god. And then, of course, you got the Eternals, you got the Apocalypse, and you got Sinister that figured out a way to make himself immortal to life. So, yeah, it was really crazy. It was really crazy. This is probably like one of the most highlighted climactic storylines in the X-Men Marvel series overall, because of the magnitude of what it took to really build this story.
Right. And and I've said this before in different streams, like, yo, Mr. Sinister is a pivotal character within the Marvel verse. It's just unfortunate that, they haven't expound on his character within the big screens, And I hope sometimes in the future they will explore that,
Yeah, I think the problem why they haven't really explored it, as because he's like, his character is literally linked to the X-Men. So it's like, unless you sell X-Men properly, you will never get Sinister by itself. And because think about it, like when they did the latest X-Men series of a movie, right? They had it when they face Apocalypse. And if that was done, but the thing is, that was so rushed. Because it's like, so wait a minute, you bring in the X-Men First Class, and then now you bring this, and then we're just gonna jump to the Apocalypse? Like, what?
Right. But you know what? Could it be that because Marvel doesn't own all the characters within the Marvel verse? For example, they don't own the Hulk nor Spider-Man. Sony and Disney own Spider-Man and the character Spider-Man, and Fox owns I believe the Hulk, the character of Hulk.
Right. No, right now I think Fox has lost all control of any versions of Marvel at this point, because I believe neither Marvel had regained that character or neither Disney has picked those up, because they picked up Fox. Remember that. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, because remember, Deadpool was originally Fox, if I'm not mistaken, or Sony's, one or the other, and it was a Disney movie this one around. So yeah, I think most cases Disney has picked up most of those intellectual properties and have them under their control now, under them. But I think most cases, I don't see Disney having Sinister at all as a collective project, because it's like, what are they going to really do with Sinister, honestly? Because the way you look at Sinister, you look at it as a medieval dark entity. So it's like,
it'd be kind of dark. Yeah, it'd be kind of too dark. Yeah,
exactly. Because the way he is, especially with back in the days of, if you're talking about origin stories, oh, you taking it from the good old, you taking it from the medieval days with that one.
But you know what will go good with that? There is a movie that Fox put out, based on the Haunted Mansion with all the mutants or whatever. I forgot the name of the film, but if they would have that director work on the film of Mr. Sinister, it'll be dope. It'll be real dope. It should be like a horror / Marvel type movie based on Sinister. I mean, and then once they get the introduction of this character, because each character of Marvel, they all have their introduction film. So if he has his introduction film based on horror, like a horror type film, and then after they get done doing that, implement it in different films within the Marvel universe, it could work, man. I think it'd be dope.
No, I'm not against it. The problem is with the idea of introduction films is because a lot of people don't, as you've seen, right? There's a lot of quote unquote origin story movies being done. The Madam Webs, the Craven the Hunters, and a lot of people.
What was your thoughts on Madam Web, man? The film, I did not like it.
I'll get back to you with that one. because like I said, I'm just making examples in comparison, but in a lot of cases, right, a lot of the
Mhm.
origin films, I can even throw in Morbius. You know, most people would say those origin stories were quote unquote not needed at all, right? And it's sort of sad because you would think the best way to start off these introductions to a lot of these characters that most people don't know because they're not quote unquote the popular character would be an origin story, but it was done not in the taste that was true to its character, or because of certain ways of how the character looked and how he moved. Pick and choose how you want to look at it. I mean, for me, I don't take any gripe with the movies. Like, my thing is, can you enter the character in overall? Now, granted, yes, the movie is the movie, right? And I will say they weren't that great for some of them, but the others were just pick and choose. But as far as so this is my main thing, right? For Sinister, the problem with Sinister is you really like the problem with Sinister coming into the MCU is not really the I want to say this. I don't think so. It would be a problem. I think the problem is because again, he's mainly connected towards the X-Men. You have to be able to properly sell X-Men before you can sell anybody else. And if you can't sell X-Men, you can't get Sinister. And I think that's pretty much the problem right there, because you have to be able to sell X-Men properly to get Sinister in there. Because if not, then you just screw that up. And even with how they did the Apocalypse movie, I like it was such a stretch. Like, even if the Apocalypse movie was done well, it was still a stretch because you would sit here and say, well, how did we get from First Class to this? I mean, sure, you could say like, oh, it was just a timeline skip and we can just, quote unquote, spin back the clock on timing, but you really can't predict timeline skips because they were still young. Like, the way you look at some of these characters, they were still young and they're facing Apocalypse. Like, come on, they're not even adults in this movie like that. So that's pick and choose.
Word up, word. Oh, I got my man Dylan in well, Sean. You know what I mean, in the building, man. Slow.
Yo.
Yo, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm pretty good, man. I'm listening to y'all. I don't really know too much about all that Marvel stuff too much, but I'm enjoying the talk though.
Word. Yeah, man. This will go good with the subject matter we got lined up, which is based on the head transplant, man. Like what would be the because I don't know if y'all guys are familiar about the head transplant that AI is able to do. That they have AI doing, like with the robots and all that. Like, yo, what's your thoughts on that? And what would be the repercussions of doing something like that, doing a head transplant?
It's a whole lot, man. Because you then to start to think about like the wicked people in this world that would then take someone else's body and transplant their head and their conscious or whatever the case is, and that's how they're gonna seek. Cause remember, the 3% of the Rothschilds and all them, they've been searching for ways of how to become eternal, where they could live forever. You know what I mean? So like, when you think about all that, man, you start thinking about all that, like especially with how them people be taking kids and for ransom and shit. Now it's gonna be for head transplants.
Word out, yeah. Cause based on because yo, Mr. Sinister, he was on some shit like that too, like trying to figure out a way to create the perfect body and access the power of immortality. You know what I mean? And the powers that be, man, some of them be on some craziness like that, trying to, live forever, drinking like, certain kids' blood out of fear. That's yeah, I mean, things like that, man. And it be a lot of spooky stuff that's you know what I mean, going on like that in that world. Yo, Wale, I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole head transplant type joint?
Right. So as you told me the other night ago when I asked you what these topics were going to be, right? It was very crazy for you to tell me about these head transplants. But then it's crazy. It just clicked in my head as I was thinking about it. This is sort of like the same way with Futurama, right? If you watch the TV show of Futurama, where they'll keep the heads of the dead presidents in this, this liquidation on water, and then you can snap their heads onto a body, and then boom, they right back in action like they never died, right? And this is pretty much like in my head, space, this is exactly what I'm hearing. It's like you keep the heads of these entities, you put them in a liquid where it keeps their brains intact to where they're still living, but you have their heads and their brains, on a shelf. And then it's like once you find a vessel where you can snap their heads back on and start moving around, it's like boom, they can keep on going.
Word. Yeah, you know what? I do remember seeing something like that in Futurama. Know what I mean? And I just can't believe that this is happening in actual real life, man. You know? Like my thoughts is like, yo, would that individual still have a soul if they transplant their head on a different body? Like, would you think that would be an abomination? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Shoot, I guess I'll go first real quick. I mean, as far as the soul part, honestly, because the way how it's depicted, right? As far as if I'm focusing on Futurama wise,
Yeah,
I don't think so. That part really even matters at that point. It's just the functionation of the brain. Because one thing right now, if this is true to what it is, as far as being able to transfer your head to another body, the main part that they're caring about is the mind, right?
right.
And I think that's the main important caveat to this overall. Like being able to still have your brain intact, have all the knowledge and information from yesteryears, and being able to transfer it, just be able to keep it and then transfer it to another body. That's it.
Now, okay, now people that's like that's spiritual will probably disagree with that. Because back then I read a book on this dude that was practicing exhortation, right? And pretty much what that is like removing unclean spirits within the body. The name of the book is called When Pigs Move In, and the author of this book, his name is Don Dickerman, and what he was breaking down at was that there was this particular quote unquote demon that manifests in this dude, right? And as he's conversing with this demon, right, he was like, "Yo, listen." Pretty much, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get busy. I'm gonna get you out." So pretty much, he asked this sentient being on like, "Yo, what you know what I mean? Where you at?" And he was like, "Yo, I'm in the mind." So he proceeds to put his hand on his the dude's head, and try to cast it out, and he couldn't cast it out, and Dawn asked him again, like, "Yo, where you at?" He said, "Yo, I'm in the mind," and he figured out that the mind is actually the soul. So him putting his hands on the dude's head was the wrong location. The location the mind is really located is in like your mid section of your chest. That's where the soul resides at. You know what I mean? And that's why I asked, like, yo, if a dude got a head transplant, right? Like, what would be the spiritual repercussions of that? Know what I mean? Hey, yo, Sean, talk to me, man. Let me know what's good, nigga. I guess he busy. Yo,
No,
Gabe.
no,
Oh yeah, go ahead, Sean.
no. I'm
Go.
listening. Now, but in regards to that, man, that's a sin, man. It's like it's crazy for you to put your head on somebody else's body, and you know what I mean. Even like girls who do that breast implants and all that, that's still a sin in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you're messing up God's creation. So it's like It's just crazy, bro. Like to see this world transitioning into this, man, this crazy world that is becoming a norm now to hear crazy shit like this now. Like ain't nothing surprising no more, bro. I'm just waiting for some crazy shit to happen, dog, to wow this world, man. Like reset this world because I do feel like something crazy is gonna happen, man, with some spiritual stuff, the stuff that you was telling me the other night. You know, like how the rapture stuff is gonna happen, and if you're still here, it means that you ain't accepted. You know what I mean. It's gonna come down to that, bro. And anybody who does that is definitely. I don't know, man. Yeah, they definitely going to hell, man. For whoever does that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, not to that degree. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. If pretty much it's like, yo, you don't want to be left behind as the tribulation gets worse, because when you read Revelation, it informs everybody like, yo, um the Most High shorten the days, because if he does it, nobody will be able to survive, not even the elect. You know what I mean? And the elect, they have the seal within their foreheads to allow them to be protected when this turmoil takes place on earth. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, man, I agree with you, Sean, man. Like, you know, darkness is coming ahead, and it is what it is. It's about to go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's rumor is that they're getting ready to rebuild Solomon temple, and we all know the prophecies of that. That's where the Antichrist is going to reveal his identity. You know what I mean? At the Solomon, the Solomon temple. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I just think that's crazy that technology have gotten to the point where they're able to perform this kind of surgery, man.
I saw how they did it. Like they showed like a diaphragm, like how they cut the neck and how they say the veins and everything, how it all connects and how over time it grows back like effectively because they have to do it within a certain time frame. Like it can't be a duration of time that they do it. It's just like who's gonna really say, hey, take my body and you know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. I to be honest, I feel like they're doing this to start cloning people, like in a sense of like, hey, yeah, this transplant stuff. Hopefully, if it goes legal and we can start doing it, blah blah blah, we can even start creating, clones, and people will never know. Like, and that's gonna be another norm, and it's like you'll never know, man. Like I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's crazy shit,
Nah,
bro.
it's funny you say that, man, because what people have been talking about, especially on TikTok, is on how uh there will be like AI being demon possessed. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't need an actual physical body to I mean, it needs something um uh it needs something to be able to inhabit in order to exist on Earth. But it doesn't have to be a biological construct. It could be a machine, like AI, which I think that's crazy. Yo, Gabe, man, talk to me, man.
Right.
Gabe, I guess he busy, man. Yo, Wale, man, chime in, man. Talk to me, man.
I mean, yeah, going back to what you had said earlier. No, I would agree that yeah, the soul is, in a lot of cases you could say the soul is an inhibitance of the brain because I think
Check,
honestly
check.
it's a link. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna say, this guy's since you brought this up, this tripped me out. Have you guys heard about the Golden Gate in Jerusalem? Because it's prophesied that Jesus' return, that's where he would return through those gates. And 3 weeks ago, it just mysteriously opened. I'll just
Yo,
leave it at that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
That thing's been
I,
sealed up
I,
for
I'm
years,
just now
years.
finding out about it through you, man. I didn't even know that.
Shit. Yeah, well, they saying that's where Jesus is supposed to show up. So it's like, are we in the end times?
I mean, yo, when you look at the prophecies, right, and the things that's going on now, I would believe that we're in end times. You know,
There's so many, dude. There's so much weird shit going on. Like, I know that the Earth. I mean, the Earth's gone through like a polar shift. There's so much weird shit going on, dude.
Yeah,
Like everything's all ass backwards nowadays.
But to be
right. Now,
honest,
have you guys heard about the sea monster called Leviathan?
No, where's that at?
Well, it's like towards like Antarctica. Oh no, was it? Is it? No, not Antarctica. But it's by a island, and because of the polar shift and the heat, the icing that kept it, in prison is melting off, and it's not allowing it to I guess wake up.
Well,
so
you
then
brought up
wouldn't that
Antarctica.
like
Antarctica's a whole different story, my friend. There's a lot of weird shit in Antarctica.
Yeah.
A whole different show.
Hmm.
yeah, because I would believe if you're saying it's thawing out, it would be Antarctica because literally the water levels are rising, everything else, and because of the heat temperature that's going on, the ice caps are melting like a mug.
Right,
Honestly, I
right.
don't believe in global warming. I just think that the Earth naturally goes through its own thing. But the cool thing about these the ice caps melting is like we're finding like this old shit, and bones and with dinosaurs and like old old humans, things like that. So we're finding a lot of interesting things. In fact, like not too long ago, we found an intact dinosaur.
Right. Well, my only thing to it is, I mean, depict it as global warming, however it is, because I just think it is like if we are built in quote unquote this sphere prism that keeps us intact within and nothing coming out, then you would believe that as far as just how it was back then to how it is now, the way how it is, it would have been stayed like just the conditions of it all, it would have stayed the same, like nothing would change. So something has to affect it. That's why I'm looking at it like, what's going on here?
yeah, and to be honest, man, to see the end of the world and all that stuff, and like all that talk, like I think it's gonna get a lot worse for us people that live even in the States, to the point where our backyards are gonna get touched, every one of ours, to the point where everyone's gonna feel affected. Like I feel like before that time come, of what everyone's saying, I think this world's gonna turn a whole lot more worse before that time comes. You know
My
what I mean?
biggest
Like,
fear is just our country cannot come together.
no, bro. No, what I'm saying is, right now we're living lovely, right? There's people who live in
Squalor.
what Palestine right now. Little kids with their legs blown off. They can't walk down their street. That's what I'm talking about. When our backyards get touched like that, that's when we're gonna feel that pain. I really feel like I don't know, man. Like everything that goes up must come down at some point. You know what I mean? And the state's been running it for a long time, man. I'm not saying, but this whole thing with the Briggs and China and Russia and all them uniting, and I know they're weak in regards to their army and all that. They talk a lot of talk, but they're not as strong as us overall.
Yeah, they don't have the technology like we do. We're still better than them in all those
right.
things.
Yeah, and they do a lot of talking.
They just have more people.
But they have
Which
more
is crazy
people.
because you see the tech that's over in Asia.
That they grow 10% yearly. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. So when you look at that, once China and all them really get on board, and like, all right, we got to do something now. And yeah, I think that's a good team to have, man. And overall, like for real. I don't know, man. I just feel like things are gonna get a lot worse for us in the States before the end of the world is here. Like we're talking nice. Like we could go outside, cut out grass, and not have to worry about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't want to lose that
at all. We don't want to lose, and that's why us Americans, we gotta stand on our toes. Like, but even having your gun. Like I live in Florida. You know what I mean? I got 2 guns. You know what I mean? Like, it's a state you don't even need to have a
Hey.
license no more. You know?
Oh, really?
I got
Hey,
this.
shout out to
Oh,
my
wow.
Clarins.
You know, I got that Second Amendment sticker on the back of my F-150. You know, if someone come up, they already know. You know, but I'm 38, man. I don't got time for that. I just do it to protect my family. I study jujitsu. I've been doing it for like the past year and a half, give or take. You know, so I'm just
I
doing
wish I
that for
did that
me.
shit. It's the best self-defense.
Yeah, you know, even that's what I was saying before I started taking. I was looking into kickboxing, Muay Thai, and
Nah.
I was even looking at a kung fu class where they're charging like 150 a month, and I was like, I started doing research, and yo, kung fu people, karate people, were all going against jujitsu people, bro, and they were all losing, bro. Like
But here's
they
the
were
thing with karate and those other things. Those belts you cannot trace back. Jiu-jitsu, you can trace your belt back, and there's a master that goes back to you know, it always goes back to a Gracie or fuck, I
yeah,
forgot the other guy.
Yeah, but Gracie, he's Brazilian jiu-jitsu though.
Oh, you're just jiu-jitsu, not Brazilian?
it is the same, bro. What are
Okay,
you
yeah.
saying?
Oh, no, my
No, because
bad.
there's a difference. You
I
didn't say
thought you just
BJJ.
meant I thought you
And
just meant regular jiu-jitsu. My bad. You didn't say
no,
Brazilian
Brazilian
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning, you know. And the main
That's why they
thing.
catch
Oh,
a
and
lot of
another
these
thing,
fake
I'm 140.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys. They go, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Who taught you? Because there's a
Right.
lineage.
Right, and I have learned in jiu-jitsu you have to stay with one trainer the whole time. You know, you can't be switching different coaches. You have to stay with the same person the whole entire time throughout all your belts in order for you to rank up.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
respect the shit out of jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
yeah. What I was gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Oh, so I'm 140. You know, I'm real cut, but I'm only weigh 140. So I was like, damn. Even if I take kickboxing or boxing, you know, like my punches will hurt, but it won't hurt a big person that's 240. You know what I mean? So jujitsu, you know, my guillotine, my
Yeah,
my
you can
chokehold, I could tap someone out regardless of how big they
armbar,
are.
exactly.
You know,
Submissions.
straight up. And dog, the bigger the people are, dog,
Stupid as they are, they fall for it.
they fall for it, bro. And they think that they try to come close because they like doing them, you know, holding people tight. But you come close to a jujitsu person, that's his favorite position. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
be honest, when I fight, I go straight to the floor. I don't even fight on my feet anymore. I fight on the floor. So as soon as you come close to me with your legs, I'm grappling it. You know?
Everyone fucks up.
Yeah, because they think it's an easy tactic to come close. Yeah, but yeah, man. But yeah, bro. Like I just feel like the reason why I take that is so therefore if this end of this world shit come and people are running in my house, I got my guns, I got my fight, I could fight. Like I don't want to be stranded looking like a duck, like that movie Purge. You know what I mean? Like. You know what I mean? Like seeing that shit, dog, that shit really had me amped up to take that shit. Like hell nah, bro. If someone running in my crib and I lost my gun or my gun's in the garage and I can't get to it, like fuck that shit. You know? Even Krav Maga is an awesome fighting style too. The Israeli military fighting style.
Oh, I've
You
never heard
know,
of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Krav
man,
Maga.
it's effective.
Yeah, bro, it's
Yeah.
super effective. It's like it's like for gun, to refrain people from using their guns or knives, like military stuff, like how to refrain from them from stabbing you and
Yeah.
dog and
Yeah, it's
every
very
punch,
aggressive.
like Steven Seagal, how Steven Seagal every move he touches somebody, how they like break down, like
Even though he's fake.
Right. I mean, but
like
Steven Seagal, it's
yo,
like
he's a
basic
wicked
karate,
dude,
though,
bro.
right? He's mad basic.
Dude,
But
they
and he
clown the
he
shit out of
looks
Steven
he
Seagal.
looks super big and super like you look like you could get at him, bro, but you can't get close to him, bro. Like he just breaks you down, dog. Like I haven't seen too many people that can beat him, bro. The only person I think can beat him, dog, he's crazy, bro. He's a black belt. He's a third degree
Dude,
black belt.
all right, bro, I'm gonna tell
A
you right now.
third degree. Did you hear a third degree black belt?
Look up Steven Seagal and just go fake martial artist. And dude, there's so many people that break down that he ain't shit. Everything he talks about going to Japan, all that is all fake. It's all
What?
fake, bro. Yeah, Steven Seagal's all fake.
Nah,
Everyone
he's
clowns
not
him.
fair. No,
Everyone
but he
clowns
knows
him.
how to fight, bro. I've seen live videos of him fighting. What do you mean? He's nasty with it, bro. All right, I bet you say that shit to his face, nigga. I'll show you fake. Hell that nigga. I ain't trying to fuck that shit. That nigga like 6'8".
Yeah, that nigga's mad big though. I can't even hold you, nigga.
Yeah. That nigga is super big, nigga. Nigga
He
step to
runs
you,
like a girl
nigga.
too.
Fuck that. You know who's nasty? The black dude.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Fight. Man,
Dude.
yeah, you know. Damn, he was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Black.
I'll find his name. Hold on, I'll find his name.
Yeah,
You're talking
he was
about
on-
Michael.
yeah,
I
him.
know you're talking about.
Yeah, and he was talking about Bruce Lee. He was like, bro, I'll whoop Bruce Lee, and people got hot at him and shit. He was like, bro, think about it, bro. He was like, Bruce Lee's like super
Bro, they
little.
showed.
All right.
No, they actually showed videos of him like, not him directly, but I'm saying like a Bruce Lee. Like, there was a video of this master, this black master. He showed that he beat him. But they won't
He did.
accept it because everyone, like anyone that knew of this or that truly that he exposed that would knew of it, everyone's
Yeah,
like,
but
"Oh, I don't know what
It
you're
would
talking
mess up
about."
his image.
Michael
Right,
J.
because-
White.
Yeah, Michael J. White. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he's nasty.
Yeah, he's mad. Yo, y'all seen that joint? Blood and Bones, nigga. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, man. Get
Nigga,
everybody the beats, man.
he knows how. He really knows how to do that shit, bro. I'm like, damn.
Bro, look up Michael J. White and Steven Seagal. Michael J. White will tell you that Steven Seagal ain't shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because he don't fear nobody in regards to any type of fighting. Like, you know, when I hit black belt, nigga, then I'll talk that shit. Right now, fuck that.
Where you at right now?
I'm at home. I live in.
I mean, belt wise.
Oh, I'm purple.
Oh, cool. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yo, what up, LA Project, man? How yo, man? Thank you for coming through today, man.
Hey, Rush, how you doing? Hey,
I'm
everybody.
alright.
How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, we.
Project. Are you from LA?
No, those are my initials.
Okay, I'm from LA.
No, I'm from the other coast.
Cool.
Yeah. What we talking about? What's going
Yeah,
on?
we was talking
Physical
about
to martial arts.
yeah. Earlier we was talking about the head transplant and because you know right now they have like machinery that's able to perform a surgery called a head transplant where they take somebody's head and they put it on a whole totally different body. And we was expounding on like what would be the repercussions of doing something like that on a spiritual level. And you could expound on it and give us your thoughts on that if you like.
Yeah, I definitely I saw something about that. It was some video that was breaking down the actual process of how they would do it. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that one, the step-by-step process. No? Okay. Yeah, I guess how they try to find the compatible body and how far down they would actually if your skin would be, it's very detailed. But yeah, in a spiritual sense, yeah, I don't think that's like gonna be like something that's gonna work. I don't know. I don't know if you guys really take stock into like chakras and like different things like that, but like your body is connected, not just even your heart has its own like quote
Mind in a
unquote
sense.
brain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. To me, it's just like, what is the point? I can maybe, if you passed away early or from circumstances that were unsavory or whatever, but it's like, at the same time, that's supposed to be God's timing, right? So now we're taking it into our own hands and saying exactly how long we're gonna live. Like, I think that's a little bit dangerous when it comes to the spiritual aspect.
See, I don't think about it in a spiritual way. I think about it in a tech way. It's like, I don't think right away we're going to find a way to like download all our thoughts and our memories right away. I think maybe we'll be able to be like, take a brain and maybe put it in another body, but I don't think we'll be the same. I think we'd have to relearn everything.
The thing to me is the people who's going to be the volunteers to say, hey, I want somebody to take my body. That's what I'm trying to configure. Like, how are they really gonna orchestrate that whole setup? Like, they're gonna pay somebody, hey, I'm gonna give your family, $10 million so they could live the rest of their life, and if you give me your body and you want to sacrifice yourself. Like, that's the only thing I could think about someone rich that would do, that they'll want to live eternally. You know what I mean? Where they'll keep offering somebody something like that. I've seen movies like that, like crazy shit.
I think we'll find a way to live like longer, like maybe 150 years, something like that. I think we'll prolong life. but I don't know about like living forever. I think that's not in our lifetime.
I mean, there's still the whole like, slippery slope when it comes to organ donation and even donating your body to science. That's how these certain schools, whether it be orthopedic or chiropractic, they usually have to look at live cadavers, and somebody signs up to, for that type of situation.
No, that is true. My brother's a chiropractor. He did have to work on cadavers.
Yeah, I've seen some back in high school. So it's like, there's always that there's somebody, that is willing to, I guess, even the family willing to, I guess, offer up in, for a quote unquote good cause. That's usually how organ transplant or donations happen as well. So there's always somebody out there.
The CIA has a little like farm where like they just put dead bodies to decompose so they can figure out how bodies, rot and stuff like that.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where they, put bodies in certain positions and in certain conditions and just see how it just decomposes so they can figure out how murders happen and things like that.
Right, forensics. Yeah.
Yeah, forensics, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, even what wasn't one of the Rockefellers had even received like up to like more than 5 or 6 heart transplants. I'm just like, geez, guy, like,
Okay. And then,
I mean, he's not taking the hint. He's like, nope, I want to keep going.
Up. That's what I'm saying.
He wants to keep going.
And that's the thing. There's people that's crazy in the head like that, bro. And even like we're talking about this head transplant thing, but I don't mean to switch up, but even thinking about the CERN, CERN. Like, I know it's something that people not forget about, but bro, every day that continues to grow and continues to go on, the people at CERN and the people who are orchestrating that whole thing, they're continuously working on that. And when they're completed with that whole CERN system and getting everything programmed for it to do exactly what they want to do, I think that's gonna be very scary, bro. I think something's gonna happen where we're gonna start seeing like demons and like, I don't know, bro, like crazy alien, like crazy stuff coming in this world that people from like other dimensions, like, we live in I forgot what dimension we live in, Bill, the 4th dimension.
No, we're in the 3rd. There's no 4th.
No, this is considered the 5th.
Oh, the 5th, really?
Yeah.
Right. So when you think about all that, bro, even like with hell, they said like hell is it's in its own dimension. I don't know, bro. It's some crazy stuff that's in this world, bro. Where I feel like everyone living is like living every day, sleep, work. Like,
let me ask you guys this: if there was an option that where you could live forever, would you want to?
No.
I wouldn't. I want to die.
Yeah, I want to rest. I want to. It's enough,
I don't even think you rest. I think you go on to a new journey.
So do I.
Well, you know what I mean.
That's all about. You just travel to a next destination, but you need.
Yeah, but at least like all the strife and everything else is kind of like wiped from your memory, so it feels like a new. I just know I wouldn't want to. Okay, so I mean, if that's the case, then do we essentially live forever then? Already.
I think we're living pretty good the way it is. I mean, God, look at people in the 1800s. You only lived to like 34.
No, what I'm saying, if like you're just gonna,
right.
Once you pass, you're just gonna kind of go into a different form and start it all over again. Aren't we already kind of like we're not physically immortal, but kind of already are, right?
Spiritually mortal. Yeah, we're spiritually mortal. I just think like because when we physically like have that. How do I say this? We physically had our time here, but it's like spiritually, it's time for us to shift to the next destination. I think that's the thing. Is like because pretty much if you're not choosing to go and you're not choosing to leave, because you could be in that vortex of hell where you outcasted, or neither you just don't want to go on to the next destination. It's because pretty much you're sort of like you're jacking up the rhythm of the whole timeline, so quote unquote,
the multiverse. What up, PMP? I haven't seen you in I haven't been on a panel with you in like almost like a year and a half.
What's good? You can hear me?
Yo, you don't know what's good.
Wagwan.
My
Brethren, go on, man.
brethren. Ha ha.
What's going on, Rush? What's going on, Gabe? Everybody?
Give you the bro
Salute,
hug.
salute.
Virtual bro hug.
Hey
Salute,
man, right now we're talking
It's been a
about
while.
AI performing a surgery called a head transplant, which they take somebody's head and attach it with a whole totally different body, and we're kind of expanding on what would be like the spiritual repercussions of doing something like that. Would you think that's an abomination to mankind? Talk to me, PMP, man. Ah,
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, whenever you get any type of transplant, you gotta take like medication so that your body doesn't reject the
Yeah, you
new
gotta absorb. Yeah,
right.
the new organ and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what will happen if you're switching heads and switching complete bodies. How that's even gonna work, right? For the most part, I would have to assume it's gonna reject it.
and there's
So
been
I
people
don't know.
that when they get a transplant, they suddenly have like they either like have an accent or they remember things that that person before was into.
I heard that too. Yeah, yeah.
Like I remember
I
this
heard
one
that.
transplant, like the dude loved chicken nuggets, and then when the person got the transplant, they were totally into chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Well, you got to
I heard about
understand,
that.
like DNA is just straight up data. You know what I mean? So if your DNA is fusing with another human being's DNA, you might inherit some of their memories, man.
And that's what I'm saying from a tech standpoint. Like,
Chicken
like
nugget
you're
with honey
downloading their
mustard.
shit.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
like
it's gonna work properly.
their information's on what you're in your body. So like you take in that information.
And eat them chicken nuggets.
Even chicken nuggets, exactly.
I'm sorry, I just find that hilarious.
But I was gonna ask you guys because I heard you guys talking. There's that guy who used to own PayPal, who was taking blood
Sad.
from his son and injected into himself to live longer. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Oh
What,
no.
what he do? Yo, part of my president. What he do?
It's some rich guy that owned PayPal and he owned something else. Um, like one of those financial payment companies.
Cash
But
App?
he's rich. Not Cash App, not Cash App. But what he was doing, he believes in some type of experiment where you could gain you could maintain your youthfulness if you inject the blood of younger people into your body.
Right,
It
right.
was
That's what we
Yeah,
was
I
talking
seen
about
that.
earlier.
Yeah, it's
You know what
part
I'm
of like
saying?
remember the
Yeah.
guy there's a guy, Peter Nygaard, some fashion designer from Canada.
They
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it didn't work.
That
Yeah,
name
yeah,
before.
yeah.
I've heard that name.
He's getting well he's been found guilty, but they haven't sentenced him yet. But pretty much he was convicted of rape and other stuff because he was paying, and it was mostly black women that he was doing this with because he believed that they have a superior DNA. So he was selecting black women, and he was paying them to get them pregnant, and then to have an abortion, and then he would take I guess the blood from the fetus, the dead fetus, and
Mm.
inject it into him, and he believed that gave him youthfulness, and that it made his face look younger, and his body was younger as well too. And pretty much rich white guys are the clientele for this because they don't want to die. The only thing that they can't pay for is good health, right? Or to remain alive for as long as they want. So
Yep.
that's the
Like
one
Steve
thing that
Jobs.
eludes them. So those are the ones who are going to spend the money to do whatever they can, and usually they're willing to be unethical about it to try to get some everlasting life or a fountain of youth. So that's going to
Mm.
be the clientele. It's going to be rich people, that's for sure.
For sure. I've seen the same thing even with the women in Hollywood. They get their face injected with blood. They use foreskin. I know placentas are really valuable. And yeah, they do it to keep I guess to revitalize their face and keep youth and all that stuff. It's ooh. Um it's deep, man. That's why I'm just like, I don't want to live forever. It's like you better just make the best of the time that you have right now and move on. I don't understand, but Yeah.
It's like I
Rich
know I'm
people,
flawed. That's why I
they're
don't want to
taking
live
things
forever.
into their own hands. That's why I don't think that they're very spiritual people at all at that point.
No, not to them. Money's the answer for everything. That's one thing that eludes them still. It's the everlasting life. But they're trying to get it, and that's what the motivation is. And if you notice, they tend to target black people uh
Right. They've
or
been kidnapping a lot of black
or
females,
or
bro.
and you find that you hear stories about people dying and they lose they come back with the body without their organs and they
Organs,
never signed
yeah.
off on it, or they'll purposely let someone die because they want their organs to harvest, right? So
Right.
I for one, I mean, I'm all about donating my kidneys to my family, but I'm not donating my kidney to a stranger where you're gonna kill me off for somebody else, right? So
Right.
all those donor cards that they want people to sign, I don't sign those.
Yeah,
I don't
me
sign those
either.
at all.
Me
Right.
either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like organ harvesting is big in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, we're more carbon based people. So like I don't know any, non-melanated people who take sea moss or whatever, but if for any of y'all who do know the benefits of everything, I mean, it's magnesium, it's iron, it's calcium, it's a lot of different like minerals and components that are more like earth based that are found in us. And that's what we really need in order to optimize our health. We're different, we're different
Yeah.
from them. And they know that. I don't want to get too deep into it, but
No, you're right.
yeah,
You're right.
they know the value,
Huh?
and at the same time, that's the reason why they want it. Because if you really want to, like, get somebody to sign up for something like that, then I mean, it makes sense to try to get people, that same group of people, to not value themselves, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, he was getting people from I forget what country in Africa that he was going to. But again, we dealing with people who have money.
Endless amounts.
They tend to use it to exploit people who don't, right? And and again, to them, they try to sell it off like if it's not a big deal, using your body to provide me with your fetus. Like to me, that's a deep thing, just to get your body to go through those stages, and you're doing it for purposes of a check. It's tough, right? I somebody mentioned it. I think Rush, you mentioned that the lack of the soul and stuff, right? So I don't know, man. I just find that when people have money, uh, there's always going to be that question about how much can money buy. And I think a lot of people's will gets tested in regards to when they run into money, what they're able to do with it, because it's a tool. And a lot of people, they get beyond that line that they cross, where now they start doing unethical things because money could get them that. And then they just turn fool, right? And then they just start using the money for the wrong things. And this is where it leads to.
I totally
Yeah,
agree.
I
Power
agree with
corrupt.
that too.
Yeah, I
Power
think of it the same way with the money, as it should be seen as a tool because it's not even something that's real. Um, but since this society is kind of set up the way that it is, and the value system is, and the emphasis is set up the way that it is, then for somebody who doesn't have, that's why people who sell their children off, like what would make them do something like that? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But the whole illusion of money is
Sometimes
fun.
it's just curiosity. Like we've all, I think all of us have done this. Sometimes like we've been in some kind of, you know, been in some situation where like, well, let's see what happens if we do this, or because power corrupts. You just want to see how far you can take something. Sometimes I think we all
Mhm.
do it. I think it's a natural human thing.
Yeah, I think all of us get tested at some point
Whoa.
as to what we could get away with, right? And you kind of have to. What is that?
Ayo.
Is that a
Well, I
milk
don't
carton?
know
That's
what happened there,
Peggy's.
but I saw something.
Hey
Oh,
Dylan, you good over there? You want to turn your camera off? Or you good?
Nah, that's his baby, man. That's his baby.
Okay.
He got a baby.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, whoa, what happened?
chubby little arm.
It's all good.
All right, cool. Go
Well,
ahead, PFP, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Y'all finish up, man. Don't worry about Dylan, man. He's taking care of the kid.
Was there like any
Uh,
type of reference of like why, well, what the motivation is for people who want to have their heads transplanted? Because I know I was a little late. I'm sorry.
Well, I
Did
mean,
anybody say anything?
My
I
guess
guess
is they want to live
they have
forever
some
just because
sort
they're
of
in that position. Yeah.
immortality.
Well, like no, from somebody who actually like wants to pay to have this done.
Well, I don't think nobody has I guess requested to do it yet, but they're saying that I guess they have the technology to allow uh, this machinery of AI do the head transplant because the way it's able to cut off the head and reassemble everything, it could get it done in a matter of minutes. You know.
Yeah, I saw that breakdown. That was crazy. That was crazy. I know that there's another like craze or there's another trend that's going around of people. There's a service of people being able to be frozen for the future as
Right,
well.
right. Well,
And
the
there's over
dude
like
that
200,000
owns
people who have already bought into that. So I was just curious if you guys had found like any statements or anything from somebody who actually signed up to have this done.
well, the dude that owns Disney, he actually froze himself. But the thing is, like when you go into cryostasis, I don't think they have the technology to preserve the body
That long?
well because the cells will actually expand to the point where it would I guess like explode, you know? So I don't think they've developed a technology that's able to preserve somebody that long in cryostasis. I mean,
Well, the baseball player Ted Williams. Remember when he died? They tried to put his ass in a what do you cryogenic state.
Mhm.
right. Well, I mean, you know, I don't know. Maybe they developed some type of tech that allows somebody to, you know, freeze himself and wake him up in another 200 years. You know, kind of similar to that movie, Demolition Man. I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
Yeah.
It's the whole film.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Vanilla Sky. That's what that reminds me of.
Oh yeah, Vanilla Sky, same type shit. Yeah.
yeah, same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tech support.
He got it. Yeah, I don't see the point, man. Like me personally, I don't even want to have like a embalming situation because it's not the same. You know what I mean? I know they tried, they've done a good job, you know, considering, but it's just not the same. So I would love to actually hear just the thought process towards somebody who wants to have their head transplanted.
I mean, I think if somebody were to want to get a head transplant, is because they want to live forever. You know. Because
You
think
guys
about it,
remember?
if the first one goes good, like, what's from
But
stopping you to do it again when the new body breaks down, you know?
yeah,
So
I'm
you
sorry.
gotta
You remember the
live
movie Get
forever.
Out?
But you know, the catch 20. Hold on. The catch 22 with that is the brain when it like you'll probably go like mad because the brain is not going to live for that long anyway. You know, like you'll have some type of like you know amnesia slash old time type joint. You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know.
But even like the thought process, like, and this just kind of came back to my memory. I remember, I don't know, I used to like Interview with the Vampire when it first came out. And just how, I mean, yes, Lestat was very knowledgeable, but he was very jaded. You know, you could see that it had affected him. And yes, he was a vampire. He was no longer human. But after living hundreds of years and seeing so much, it just didn't seem to serve him very well. That's why I'm just like, why? You know, unless you just have one of those complexes where you're just like, me, my family, whoever, I don't ever want this to change. I want this to continue on forever. I guess so, but I'm just glad I don't think that way.
I can see why rich people want to do that because they want to continue to be rich. They don't want to like.
Yeah, but you can go broke too. I mean, maybe they feel like they can't. I don't know.
I mean, it would make sense for a rich person to want to live forever because their reality is totally different from ours.
Facts. Yeah, because think about it. Like, what poor person or average person is gonna have $1 million plus to do a head transplant? Like, you know what I mean? The type of technology and equipment that they're gonna have to use that. Ain't no poor person gonna be using that. For real.
Yeah, like and it's fairly new, so maybe 200 years from now it'll be a common thing where you could pay a co-pay and get your head transplant on a new body, but for now, yeah. For now, it's kind of like unreachable. It's not a realistic thing for a person that works a normal 9 to 5 to be able to afford to do something like that. And therefore, they might not even think in those kind of terms because they can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm kind of just looking real quick, and okay, I see one example. He's it's like a quadriplegic and wants to have the transplant done. Okay.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now they have developed certain tech to bring back somebody's vision.
Yeah, limbs and shit.
Limbs, somebody's vision.
Yeah, we're getting better at that.
Hearing.
Yeah.
Giving people hearing.
Because what happens with the with your eyes, like when you're looking at something, your photoreceptors take in this electrical charge, right, and it converts it into a binary code, right, and as this electricity shoots out to the back of your brain receives that electrical binary code and decodes it and helps you depict pictures and to see vision, and you do that with no effort.
It is touching to see, like, when little kids can hear for the first time or see for the first time, they see their parents.
Oh, for sure. They cry. Oh, it's yeah. That's beautiful.
So I mean, we are developing things, to do basic things like grow a limb or get vision back and stuff like that, but nothing crazy where you do a head transplant, like I haven't seen that yet, or read anything of that nature yet. They just have the technology that they just have the tech that allow you to do it, but I don't think they've tested out on somebody yet, and if so, I haven't heard about it.
It looks like just mice so far. 1,000 mice.
Yeah.
That's where it always starts. I'm sorry, I'm looking on YouTube, just scrolling. That's why I look all crazy. Yeah, it's interesting though. Man, I don't know. Me personally, that would have to just be the end for the kid. Sorry.
Just go back to what I said earlier. The millionaire's name is Brian Johnson, the one who's taking blood from his son to inject into himself.
AC/DC singer?
No, not that Brian Johnson, but yeah, this he's 45 years old and he's doing this procedure. And the funny thing is, when you look at him, he don't look. Number one, he looks like he's like 60 years old. He already looks bad, right? So I don't see what he sees in this process that he thinks it's working, but he feels that he looks better, and his the way how he looks and his physique, he feels he's more youthful, but I don't think so, man.
It's like those people that get like 20 plastic surgeries. They think they look better, but they don't.
But they don't, exactly. Like one of those people.
Those kind of people, man, they're afraid to grow old. They still want to be able to blend in in a certain age bracket, you know. But like when when you hit a certain age, man, you won't be able to blend with the youth no more. You're old, Just accept it.
It's
You know?
it is hard to accept because, dude, like, I just turned 42 like last week. It's like I look 42 now. I feel 42 now. Like I'm balding. It's like, oh man, I don't have my long hair like I used to. It's hard to adjust, man. It's like, damn, I'll never be like that no more. but I I'm starting to. I went bald now, so I'm like, all right, I'm starting to like adjust.
Yeah, when you get to your 40s, that's when you get that rude awakening that you realize that you're actually getting old. Your metabolism slows down. You start getting more aches and pains if you don't stretch and work out. That's when you start to notice it.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
right, because you're getting old, I'm
at the age now where it's like, just I could fucking crack my knee, Where before I didn't have to scratch, do nothing.
Working out, man, you gotta take it slow, man, because you don't want to wake up all sore the next day. I mean, you're supposed to wake up sore because of the lactic acid that's running through your body after working out. But other than that, yeah, go ahead, PMP.
No, I'm saying that you're right. To break down the muscles to build it back up, right?
Right.
But no, but like you said, it's never too late to have a healthy lifestyle, man. I mean, you could be in your 50, as long as you make it part of your daily routine, so that it's not, you're not working out once a week, 3 hours a day, where it's abnormal, but you're doing it on a consistent basis. Then you're going to be in better shape. I've seen a lot of people who started working out later in life, and they're doing well.
My
right?
brother's never done anything athletic in his life. Right now, he's like, he's like, I wouldn't say he's like buff or nothing, but he's in great shape. Great shape.
Well, hear me on this, right? In regards to that working out stuff, I've been working out for years. Ask my boy Bill. I'm into the gym like 6-7 days a week, right? I weigh 140. I had a stroke 2 years ago, right? Where I was paralyzed on the right and I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. You know what I mean? And as soon as they did the surgery on my brain, I was able to move and talk immediately. But as I was talking real slow, and I had to go to speech therapist and all that. But I wasn't paralyzed as soon as they cut the clog out. I didn't see outside of my brain. I was 35 when I had it,
Damn.
but I'm 38 now. Like it was
way too early.
It was like, it was a month. It was December 30th. It was crazy. December 30th, the day before New Year's, And,
do you know what caused it?
They said stress and cholesterol being elevated, but they don't know.
Yeah.
They said I may have a hole in my heart, so I'm going to see a cardiologist in September to see if there's a hole in my heart and all that, which, I'm scared to even do that. But what I'm just trying to say is this, right? I've been going to the gym coldly, bro. Like, you'll never think I have a stroke or of cholesterol or nothing, bro. Like, I was eating good, bro. My wife cooks and all that shit. I don't be eating nothing crazy like McDonald's every day. I eat it like once every 2 weeks here and there, you know what I mean? But I usually eat at home, bro. And I still have my, and then I found out that your body produces cholesterol. And sometimes certain bodies produce more cholesterol than meat. I was like, what? On top of the food that you're eating? So that even drove me crazy thinking about that shit. So it's all about, like my boy Bill says, man, you just have to be on top of your shit. Even though something like that happened, man, you just gotta be able to bounce back and just keep adapting and adjusting. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
The fact that you can still do jujitsu and you're talking, dude. A lot of people can't even talk again.
That's the thing, Like, after my stroke, like, I'll be honest with you, I found out that my neurons in my brain were all over the place. I found that out from my doctor because I did a commercial for the hospital because they were amazed at my bounce back. So they did a commercial with me, and I was speaking to the doctor. And he was like, man, when I did the surgery on you, I was very shocked of how immediately you're able to talk and move. He was like, I thought you were kind of gone, and there's just some crazy shit. But yeah, bro, after my stroke, right? I used to be a big procrastinator prior to me having a stroke. I used to be about money, but like, oh, yo, invest in this course and you can learn this and that. But like, now I'm gonna go on YouTube. Now I'm good. Or like, I always used to be cheap, or like, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Like, I ain't gonna spend money on that. I'm gonna learn that shit myself. Or now, like, bro, as soon as I think of something, I'm doing it. Like, it's like I'm not a procrastinator. I was like, bro, it happened after my stroke. Like I got my house. I got a 4-2 house in Kissimmee, you know, last year. I started my own pressure washing company, you know, and it's not no Home Depot setup. I paid like $8,000 for the whole equipment. You know, like
Congrats, sir.
it's just something that happened to me, bro. Like I just been real motivated after that. You
Well,
know what I
because
mean?
you're
I don't
lucky,
know.
man. There's a lot of people don't come out of
That's-
that,
Yeah,
especially and doing the shit that you're doing.
Mhm.
Tomorrow's
I'm
not
happy that
promised. That-
you're even like talking to us.
Yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
I appreciate you on that. You know what I mean? But I found out about a lot of people who passed away from that stuff or brain hemorrhage. That what's that thing called? A brain aneurysm. I had a
Yeah,
friend that died from a brain
my
aneurysm.
favorite
That shit
comedian,
scared
Patrice
me.
O'Neill, he died of a stroke.
Yeah, bro. Like people be dying, bro. Like I was like, and that's what got me thinking about God. And like I don't mean to get deep on that part
I
again,
get
but
that though. I get that.
like I used to
Why
think
you?
like not that, but I was like, what if I died? And I told Bill this, like, what if I died and I found out that I was studying the wrong religion the whole time? Like, regardless of what John or Phil or Eddie or Bill or Eduardo or Juan tell me, hey, you're studying the right religion. Like, nobody really knows until they meet that maker, in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like I'm a believer in God. I believe in Yahshua. Like I just don't want to believe in the man-made, the manipulated man-made way of how the one percenters of this world operate, with how they take certain things out the Bible, or they may be able to interpret certain things and try to stir our mind a different way. It's like you just never know, man. You know, like I heard even Disney bought something with the Bible or something like that, and that they were taking parts out of the Bible.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys heard about
they
that?
bought the rights to it. They own the publishing of
That's
the
crazy.
Holy Bible.
And
Yeah,
then with Disney, do you watch that movie Strange something, bro? It was like with this gay guy, a gay kid. He was like, yeah, hey, yeah, pops, I wanted to kiss him. I was like, yo, blood clot. My son not watching this no more, dog. What the fuck? Excuse my language, bro. You know, sorry. You know, I was like, yeah, get off my. I deleted that Disney Plus thing immediately.
I didn't know you could buy the rights to the Bible.
No, the
yeah,
Bible is
man.
a copyrighted
Yeah.
thing.
I didn't either.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They already took out a lot of
Yeah.
key important scriptures within the Bible, man. You know, and I think that's because they're gonna get rid of, because everything, like, they're getting ready to get rid of money. Now they're gonna get ready to get rid of like physical books, so that way they can have control of what you read
Straight
and
up.
what you study and stuff, and how you spend your bread. You know.
You ever seen that movie Eli with Denzel?
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that movie.
The Book of
And
Eli.
you remember
I
the
love
book,
that
how the
movie.
person was like, hey, books, they're the most valuable part of this world, because there's no more true knowledge out there, and these books carry all the knowledge and wisdom we need. And no, that's just for real, bro. Like having physical stuff like that, because when they're able to go in there and edit what they want, and it's like we become vulnerable to life, and when you're vulnerable, you're easy to lead. Like you're no longer an individual because you don't know the true. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. They're gonna start erasing our mind like Men in Black.
Right. Well, I mean,
That's what they wish they could do.
yeah, erase our memories and stuff.
Trying to tell you, man.
Yeah, we asking too many questions.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, seriously, I know they don't like it, but I don't like. I always thought about that too. I was, brought up in church, but as I got older, I always wondered, like, well, what if you weren't fortunate enough to know what the true God was? Like, are you still just damned, or will that be overlooked or whatever? So I feel you on that one. But we were raised, and I guess steered, depending on what our family members do, or maybe we just pick what resonates more to ourselves. But hopefully we just do what makes sense and just continue to do research. If we read and things don't, if we cross-reference, or if we read something later, and I don't think it's a bad thing to question or anything like that. But yeah, I always kind of wondered that, like, how do you know,
Right.
if you're
And just like my boy Bill says, he was like, the only way we could really know is if you really clean up your life, like where you become pure. Like like from the physical, your mind, your spirit, like where you're all at one with yourself, to the point where God could really communicate with you, like through the Holy Spirit. Like when you feel it, you see Him, you had that touch on your shoulders, or it's like it's something so amazing you can't even explain it because it's so beautiful, that moment. Like that's what I'm waiting for, bro. Like I've been asking God that every night before I go to bed, bro. I thank God for everything He does for me. Thank you for this house. Thank you for having my mom around, for my kids. Thank you for me having my kids, and God just provide me the Holy Spirit, something like for real. I've been asking Him, bro, because I need to have that.
Yo, man, keep seeking His face, and you'll find your answer, man. You know,
Straight up.
I've had the luxury of receiving the ruach at its fullness. You know what I mean, and it's amazing. I mean,
That's what I'm saying, man.
And it might be insignificant, but that's why I just like even in the morning I like to sit out on the deck and like just look around at nature. Like it's kind of cool. Like I saw a hummingbird the other day. It just flew like not too far from me. Like just little things like that. Be like, dang, like because all this stuff was designed very just to a whole nother level on a whole nother level. So, when you want to see or hear, God or whatever, sometimes you have to just look around you and just appreciate and just really soak in all the things that He's created.
Hmm.
Kind of
Yeah,
starts a little bit
that's
there.
facts.
Yeah,
Because
growing up, I
like,
was like pretty cynical. I wouldn't maybe you could say angry, but now I've like really softened up. Like I'm just like I appreciate things a lot more. Like every day I do. I mean, I'm not a religious guy at all, but I'm thankful for the things that I have
Yeah.
more than thinking about things that I wish I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think coming from a place of lack or scarcity is just that's not really there's so many things that have already been promised to us, and if we keep our minds on a higher plane or a higher outlook and vibe, I don't want to be cliche, vibration, but yes, I think that you're more likely to become that magnet to draw in good things. And it's the same way conversely, if you're more of a negative person, cynical person. I'm not downing anybody for like I said, just getting tired of dealing with life's trials. This shit's hard. This shit's hard. That's why I said, me personally, I don't want to live forever, So, but it can go conversely if somebody, is just looking at other people in a negative way, all people out to get me, this person is lying to me, then that's kind of what they attract to. So, it takes a little time for people to kind of see the reason for everything. You know what I'm saying? We can lose parents, siblings, even God forbid children, and we just wonder like why? You know what I'm saying? Like I do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, or at least I'm moving towards that direction, but we're not looking at the lesson though.
Uh,
And a
uh,
lot of it I think is appreciation for the
If I
now.
could, if I could ask you, if you had complete access to all the resources that you wanted, would you want to live longer in that situation?
I mean, maybe longer, but not still forever, because I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm still not human. I know what my intentions would be or what I would do with it now, because I know the space that I'm coming from, the mind space that I'm coming from, in terms of just being empathetic and being more on a ground level with people who go through a lot of different things. But if I was a person who had things going right for a long time, I feel like that would disconnect me. And eventually I would become one of the other people that I don't like. So,
Hmm.
no, I still don't want to, maybe a little bit longer just to, make some things come to fruition, but still not forever, because I still fear that I would, I would be perverted along the way,
Hmm.
because I'm only human, and if I'm just given, life without consequence, and I can just live, oh, well, shoot, I'll just save up another million and just, do it again, or whatever, then there's no consequence to it. So, I mean, I just, I know I'm coming from a place of just being more realistic. I would want to do a lot of altruistic things and try to really help people for right now. But if I was to be here for, let's say, an extended, I don't know, 100 years, I don't know, my mentality might change. I might not see people the same way as, oh, okay, well, I know that these other systems are going on and people just need help. I might just see them as sheep, just like the rich do now.
Right. You'd be desensitized in a way.
Yeah, thank you, Raj.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it short and sweet for me. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm still human, I'm not perfect. I'm not God or anything, but I just know what I would do with it now. But I can't say that I can promise that in the future, because I don't know, where that type of stuff, where, what type of doors will be opened up to me, what type of things I'd be exposed to, how I would be treated. Because if, when people especially are exalted or made to be important for no damn reason, that's usually when their way of thinking gets a little bit screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's funny because no, it does. It's a good answer. It reminded me of the whole Wolverine thing, how jaded and cynical he became after living all of those years, because he can't die himself. So he's lived through it all and seen all of the evil. So just his whole outlook on life is completely different from people who are mortals. So no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Have you seen Deadpool Wolverine? I'm dying to talk about it with somebody.
Yeah, I did. That's
I haven't
what
even
I'm referring
seen
to.
that
Yeah.
yet.
That's exactly what I'm referring to, Gabe.
Dude, that movie, there's times where it hit me hard, because there are themes and certain scenes that just related in life right now. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
When Wolverine
you rate it?
And he's telling Deadpool, you couldn't even fucking keep a relationship with a stripper. Dude, I want to fuck Wolverine up.
Hey, what would you rate the movie?
10. I loved it. I loved it.
See, I'm glad someone said it, because I swear people out here thinking too highly, thinking too low.
No, I heard it was great. I just heard it was a little boring, but I'm like, oh, good.
No, it was never boring.
Yeah, to me, it was a little bit over the top, but it was over the top, but that's part of the whole story. So I understand.
Thank you.
I didn't like how they had Wolverine.
I didn't like the crucifixion scene. I didn't like that.
The crucifixion scene. I did not like it. Matter of fact, I had to repent on watching that. I mean, because
I'm not a religious dude. I just think that was just too much.
Oh my!
It was already over the top. We didn't need that. That was too much.
Granted, I could say that you didn't want to see that part, but it's like.
But I like how they made jabs at Marvel. They made jabs at Fox. It was the ultimate. I think it was the perfect movie to overlap the two studios.
But how did they get the? Here's the thing. A lot of times, certain studios, because of their rights issues, they block stuff. How did they let this guy have so much power to create all these things and never told him you can't do that? It seemed like he was able to do anything he wanted. Bringing back Blade, even though Blade was recasted as somebody else, he brought Blade back as Wesley Snipes. I don't understand how he got so much power to do that.
He probably paid to use the likeness of all those characters. Because a lot of times these big corporations and companies will let you borrow the likeness of certain characters,
I'll tell you why. The success of Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2.
Yeah, the cross promotion. It is more anticipation. But then if you're gonna use the old character, doesn't that kind of ruin it for the new character you're gonna bring into the
Here's the thing, the new Blade's never gonna happen though. It's not.
You think
There's
so,
too many
You don't
director
think so?
changes and all that. I think they canceled it.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but
That's why he said there's only going to be one Blade, and then how Deadpool looks at the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that just be funny though. But my thing is with that whole thing of why people thought that that was sort of ruin it, but it wouldn't, because that Blade's from a different timeline. You got to remember all these multiverse type stuff. So it's like, okay, we get one Blade in one timeline. That's another Blade in another timeline.
But dude, the scene where they would go against the Deadpool corpse, and they play the song in real time, and in real time they're just fucking everybody up. Dude, that was the most violent fucking scene I've ever seen.
Yeah. That shit was
blood everywhere.
That must have been what my nephew was referring to. He was.
There's
just
one
like,
point where Wolverine jumps the guy, starts stabbing him in the chest like 8 or 9 times, and then he grabs the gun and blows his head off.
Yeah,
God
it's
damn.
but that's all like computer graphics. That's not like
Yeah, of course. But still,
reenactment.
it was just a
It's all
cool
computer
fucking scene,
graphics.
dude.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good, but I don't know. I found that it was definitely over top when it comes to the gore of it, but also a lot of the jokes, like the gay jokes and all of the different things.
Yeah,
It
yo,
was over
man.
the
Yeah,
top,
there
man.
was a lot of
Everyone
such
is
moments,
mad at the
man.
dang
A lot of
jokes.
such moments, yeah.
It was over the
But
top.
I guess
Everyone
it's
be
the
mad at the
comedy,
jokes.
you know. But yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
what it is.
I wouldn't give Deadpool a 10. I'll probably give it a 5. You know.
Yeah.
A 5.
Yeah, because
A
I
five?
just hear me out, guys. Just hear me out. Like,
Oh, bro, we going to war.
nah, come on, Wally, man. Don't do me like that.
My G, because
I give it a-
if sophisticated jerk was here, I swear to God, bro, you trifling right now. You trifling.
I give it a 5 because listen, man. Like the whole. I don't look at Wolverine as a comedic character. And the whole film, when you watch the whole film, like it's based on like a comedic type style film.
But Wolverine, Hugh Jackman made it like he brought those dramatic scenes. Like, dude, there's some parts where I was like, oh man, dude, that it needed a Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was fucking brilliant in it.
He killed it. He killed it.
Like, and to me, there can't be any other Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, if they do a decent casting call to bring back Wolverine to a different character or a different person or whatever, they can find somebody else. It's just it's just that Hugh Jackman did such a good job with all the films that it's kind of hard to replace that character, but he can still be replaced.
No, Deadpool's silly, right? But Hugh Jackman, he brought the serious parts in it. It was like, damn.
Yeah,
like, and you know what I like about it?
Part of the makeup.
For guys like us, we're getting older. We're almost middle aged, or most of us are up there. I felt like that movie was like something for us. It was meant toward people our age.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, you don't matter. It's like, yeah, I want to matter. It's like, because we're at that age where it's like, dude, what have we done in my life? What have I done in my life? Makes me think. Because, dude, that scene at the birthday party, that shit, I had to walk out because that shit hit me. I was like, dude, because my birthday was like a week away. I was like, oh man, oh no, I don't want to deal with this. And then the Deadpool like broke up with his girl. I was like, oh no, man, no, fuck that. I had to walk out for a minute, come back in.
No, that was the underlying message of the movie, right?
Like, and dude, if you think about Deadpool, everything he's done, it's always been for the girl. So Deadpool's like honestly like a love story. Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, Deadpool 3, all has to do with the girl.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah,
it's twisted, but it has to do with love. And he said, "You couldn't even keep a goddamn relationship with a stripper." Dude, I was like, "Ooh, I was human." I was like, Deadpool, I'm going to fight you now. And then they have fucking Grease playing.
That car scene was crazy.
But
that was crazy.
With Grease playing in the background. And then, God, the Honda Odyssey fucks hard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they fought each other till the fucking night.
Yeah, they couldn't kill each other, so they just tired themselves out.
And
then Gambit with his shitty fucking Cajun accent. I love that part.
Pretty decent.
I love that. And then all the crazy shit he was talking about being his daddy's nuts and all that crazy sexual shit.
And that's where like all this gay stuff was just coming on. Like, yo, this is crazy. I was wondering, should I take my kids to see this movie? But I'm like,
it's definitely not a kid's movie, man.
This ain't a kid's movie, man. No way.
Oh no.
No, but dude, it was a heavy movie. It was a heavy movie. Like, dude, all the Marvel movies lately have just been heavy with like down themes. Like since Spider-Man: Homecoming, I think Thor, all those things, dude. I've honestly cried in almost every one of them.
Even with Thor?
No, not Thor. Because the only reason it was
really
without
did
Thor
not
because
enjoy the God of Thunder joint. Like I not a fan of the film, man.
Thor is funny enough to where it's like it was still heavy because Jane died of cancer and all that, but it was still funny enough to where it's like that's the only one I didn't, but I was close.
Yeah,
they kept it light. They kept it light.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I just didn't enjoy the film. I mean, lately, Marvel haven't been doing too good of a job putting out films, man.
No, that's why
You
I think
know?
Deadpool has I think Deadpool's the bridge that makes that shit start becoming good again. I'm not looking forward to the Fantastic Four with Robert Downey again. It's like what's
Right,
nice
they got
because
him
the main
playing
bad
as
guy-
Doctor Doom now. You know.
yeah, so it's like you go from the biggest hero to the biggest villain. Okay,
Yeah,
I
I'm not a
guess,
fan
but
of that.
yeah, it's like we've already seen you, bro. It's like just retire, be Iron Man. You're always
Yeah,
Iron
move
Man.
on.
Now you
I
want to
mean,
be Doctor Doom.
like
But
no one
we'll
else
see,
has,
'cause-
has done that.
Every Fantastic Four movie has fucking failed. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, even the one with Michael B. Jordan, man, because Michael B. Jordan played as
Thing?
Johnny
Torch.
Torch, the
Oh,
Human
Human Torch.
Torch, yeah. And that film did a flop, man.
I didn't even see that one. That's how bad that one was. I didn't even
I mean,
know it was out.
I watched it because I'm a big fan of Fantastic Four, but yeah,
Yeah, but see, that's another common case of an origin story, right? How it all started, how it began, how they got the powers, how they were adjusting, and next thing you know, it just didn't go the way it wanted to be. It just came.
I mean,
That's a Sony one, right? That's not an actual Marvel, is it?
Well, it's Marvel mixed with something else, but yeah, it could be through Sony or one of the other ones.
I think it's through Sony because it's not an actual MCU film. per
yeah, it's
se.
not an MCU film, no.
Yeah,
No.
it's not MCU. Yeah,
Yeah, so that one's kind of like, just written off, which is good, because they keep trying. But the last time I saw one was, I think, the first one with the Alba and, the other dudes. And, the Captain America's Human Torch. It was like, eh.
Yeah, that was the older one. That's like early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the best one out of all the ones, then that's a problem.
Yeah, really.
technically it is because you get to see Silver Surfer. So yeah.
Yo, I want to pivot on the next subject matter, man. Like, what's your thoughts on Kamala Harris becoming president and her implementing the capital gain taxes up by 44%? Well, what's your thoughts on that? Let me get your perspective on that LA project.
I'm not too impressed with her reputation and his past history. It just always seems to be focused on the community that she now claims to be a part of.
Thank you.
So for me, I'm just like, they're both not my ideal choices. They're not really good choices either way, but when I think about her, it just is token. This is something that they feel like the country needs. And at the end of the day, it's all about getting certain agendas pushed across, or getting them passed or whatever. Last time it was, more LGBT focused marriage. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have, that type of situation, but, it just seems to be more priority. So when, with her always trying to seem like she's a part of what we know she's not a part of, liking Tupac, even when Tupac wasn't popular back in the 80s, he wasn't popular until the 90s. Just incarcerating Black parents because their children were skipping school. There was a young man who received time for something that he didn't even do. Because of her, I'm not convinced. She can cackle and laugh, and that's why I'm just like, I'm glad that I don't, and this is no diss to anybody, but I am a free agent. I don't belong to any sororities, fraternities, organizations, anything like that, because it's just all used as, just as tactics to me to gain voters and get support and to sway things to make it seem like she's down when she's clearly said that she's not going to do nothing for us.
Yeah,
people forget that she started her political career being a mistress.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same thing, with in And it's a little off topic, but the same thing with like Epstein. Epstein, he didn't have any type of credentials. He kept on being
Lying,
basically
yeah.
given different positions, and then people were
Yep.
just like, oh, well, he must be legit, you know. And it's the same type of thing. This guy, I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, started giving her positions, and it just seemed like nobody ever questioned
Brown.
anything.
The mayor of Frisco or Oakland? I can't
Yeah.
remember. I forget.
Willie Brown of San Francisco, I think.
Frisco, okay.
Yeah, and nobody questioned it because I guess he was him at the time. But yeah, it's just all finesse. I'm not really feeling her at all.
And she's
Well,
claimed Indian. She's never claimed black until now.
Exactly.
Well,
and it was
here-
convenient. But she did go to a HCBU, but
But here's
it
the
probably
thing
was
about that.
the scholarship because she's really Indian and not black. But good.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my question to the whole thing, if she's black or not. Well, one, you could be any other race and still go to HCBU, right, or HBCU, right? So you
There's
don't
white
have
people
to.
that go to HBCUs.
It's not. Yeah. So
Yeah, but they
it
get
doesn't define
they-
your blackness, right?
right, but they also give like the HCBUs give them, like, you know, Asians and Indians, they give them scholarships for being minorities because technically that's what they are at
Yeah,
an
they fall in that
HCBU.
category. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, she probably
so
got
they
to
just
go for a discounted
through a
price or
loophole.
for free.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, some
The
guys
other
told her
part-
that she was fine, and
Yeah.
now she
Here's
on.
here's the thing that I find interesting for someone whose black identity is based on her Jamaican father. It's interesting that they never show him. He doesn't speak on their behalf. She doesn't bring him out to say anything about her, and that is the only link that she has to her so-called blackness.
Blackness, yeah.
And part of that is because number one, he doesn't approve of how she's running her campaign or how she ran her campaign initially. He spoke out against her in terms of how she was using her identity to kind of sway votes or to make that her main point of why people should vote for her because she's black. And then the rumor is that he's not really black himself. His genetic makeup is Indian and Irish. So I mean, if anyone knows the history of Jamaica, there's Indian Jamaicans, there's Chinese Jamaicans, there's a whole bunch of different Jamaicans. Just because you're Jamaican doesn't mean you're black, right? So there's it's a little wishy-washy as far as whether or not she's truly of black heritage. And again, like I said, if that is who you really are, then you'd think that she should have a closer relationship with her black father, if he is black, right? So that part is tricky. The other part that I don't like is the fact that she makes a lot of promises, like if she's not already in power. She is already in power. She's the current vice president. If she's not able to have any influence as to what's going on in the current administration, what makes people think that she's able to pull whatever she wants to pull off when she becomes president? I don't see it being the case where it's any different. It's going to be the same thing as it is currently now.
I don't
Right,
think
so
they care. I think they just want to beat Donald Trump at any whatever costs.
Well, and that's the thing. They're playing a fear game where it's like anything but Trump because Trump is going to ruin the country and so on and so forth. But again, for the past 4 years, it hasn't looked that great in terms of inflation and cost of living and everything else. And the weird part is that that's happening all over the world. I'm in Canada, and Canada is having issues too in regards to cost of living, inflation. The capital gains thing that you mentioned, that was done here, where if you have any capital gains over a certain amount of money, you're taxed to high heavens on it, right? So there seems to be some type of concerted effort globally to create stress for regular citizens across the world. So I don't know what the game plan is, right? Whether it's Trump or Kamala Harris, it seems like it's already written as far as what they plan on doing going forward.
Here's something I've never asked you. You've always been Canadian. You've born Canada and all that type of stuff, or
Yeah. I was born and raised in Canada. Yeah.
so you're true blood Canadian. Cool.
Yeah, as far as birth, yeah. I mean, my heritage is Caribbean and African, so yeah.
And then you guys ended up in Canada, or never in the States?
No, I have family in the States, but
Oh, okay, cool.
I never lived in U.S.
Right on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that part of my presence, because it's like, yo, if you purchase a home, right, and you know your home's worth like 200 grand, right,
Hmm.
and then the following year it jumps up to like this is just hypothetically speaking, it's not a real scenario. I'm just using these numbers for an example. But your house value increases by, another 100 grand or whatever. Don't you know, right? By your house building equity, right?
Hmm.
She wants to tax you for that, like,
Yep.
that
Yep.
value of the crib. So therefore, like, you can still live in that house, and if the property value goes up along with, the value of the actual house or whatever,
Mm.
yo, you get taxed 25 grand for that, man.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
crazy.
going to discourage a lot of people from buying a home now, man. If
Yeah,
that
because
if that were to take place.
who wants to sell knowing they're going to get dinged on it like that? Because I know here, I know how it is in the States, but here, if you sell your principal residence, you're not taxed, right?
Hmm.
What I don't know if they're changing how they look at it, but I know if it's like your second property that you don't live in, then that's when it's not your principal residence, and then that's when you're taxed at these high capital gains rates that they want to charge, right? But it's almost like they're taking away all the incentives to try to elevate yourself and to build wealth, right? So I don't know what that means in the long run, because it seems like the name of the game is to get everyone dependent uh, uh, in some sort of system that they want to implement later on.
Right. Because this capital gain tax not also hit your your crib or whatever, but also your business. You know what I mean?
Business too,
So
yeah, yeah.
say for instance, like your net worth of your business accumulates like $2 million. You got to break off Uncle Sam a million off rip.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
crazy.
And then some people say, "Well, I don't make that much money anyways." Well, that may be true, but think about it this way: if a business is making that much money, then they would also employ people as well. If a business is not able to make a profit, then they can't employ people, so that's less jobs for you to get hired from. So
Right.
it affects everybody, right? So I don't, and the other part to it is that a lot of businesses, they're, I don't know if you guys have in the States, but here we had that foreign worker program where they'll outsource someone from India. They'll bring them into the country and pay them below the legal wage.
No, we don't
And
do that. We do have work visas where, like, we have like little Mexican pickers and stuff like that.
yeah,
Sometimes they'll come in for the season of whatever, strawberries, watermelons, whatever,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
send them back.
and
But
send them
no,
back.
we don't pay them below. We always pay them. We still pay them
Well,
the
the government subsidizes the other part. So the company pays next to nothing, and the government comes and pays the difference. Is what the program does. But the interesting thing about it is that it's meant to help employers who can't really afford to pay for the amount of labor that they need, like for farms and stuff. But what's been happening is that big corporations are using the system, like like Tim Hortons, which is like similar to Starbucks in the States,
Oh
or
yeah, I'm
McDonald's,
familiar with the Tim
right?
Hortons. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, honestly,
So,
nowadays we just let illegals in like nothing. So
well, this is the
we
thing.
used
So
to have work
how
programs and
Yeah.
visas.
So how is it that these big billion-dollar corporations who are making profits are using a system that's meant for small businesses to help them stay in operation? So a lot of things are happening where everybody's getting screwed over. The people who are coming in getting taken advantage of. The citizens who are currently here are being taken advantage of. And the only people that are winning are corporations. That's it.
That's why I tell black people you cannot let these illegals come in, because once they come in, they take over your vote, and then your vote doesn't matter anymore. And then the Democratic Party is no longer going to need you, and then you're worth nothing.
But even that, as depending on what neighborhood you're in, the black people have no say in it. that's the frustrating part, because number one, you're a lot of the people that are coming in, they're I wouldn't say they're the desirables of those countries. A lot of them maybe even from gangs and stuff. Because what I've seen happen, and I've seen the news, where a lot of areas are being run by
We're
foreign
getting the
gangs.
cartel Mexican. We're not getting
Yeah,
the the homeboy Mexican from the down the block, like in the hood type
yeah,
thing.
you're
Yeah, it's
getting
a
people
different
who are
type of Mexican.
yeah, they're organizing, and they're creating gang territories where
They're not
the
Mexican, they're
locals,
Venezuelan.
Venezuelan or even other places as well too,
El
where they
Salvadorian, Guatemalan.
yeah,
Yeah, we're getting a lot
and
of South Americans.
the locals can't protect their own neighborhoods, right? Because on top of that, they're also getting money as well too. And the
Dude,
thing
that's
is,
why Compton, it's not really black no more. It's like it's different now. Compton's a whole different place.
well, California in a whole, from what I understand, it's
Yeah. Oh yeah. Damn, dude, it's
yeah,
weird over here. I need to get out of
that's
the
for
state.
sure. So I don't know, man. It just seems like there's a global change that's going on, where it's not just the U.S., it's Canada,
It's everywhere. Yeah. It's
Europe. It seems to be the same method and
type
the
of thing.
same
Yeah.
problems every country is having, which to me sounds like it's planned and organized to be this way. It's deliberate.
Like I know England's having a problem with these Muslim immigrants. There's a lot of like rape shit going on in a lot of countries
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like
Yeah, yeah.
Sweden used to be like totally cool. Now it's like the rape capital of the world almost. Like
yeah.
it's
It's
getting
a
crazy there.
problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Inflation is killing places like Nigeria and other places in Africa as well, where
Yo, but it's
the
hitting
amount of
Canada
inflation
like crazy though.
is hitting
I
Canada
seen
as well
I
too.
seen
Inflation.
I seen a clip off of what you call it on TikTok where this chick had to pay $200 for a pack of chicken, man. Is that
How much?
true? Part of my
Nah,
presence, man.
not $200.
How much? How much they go for?
Uh, it depends on where you go, man. Like if you want to go to like a Whole Foods version of chicken, you're gonna pay out the ass. But if you go to a No Frills, you'll still get a reasonable price. All depends where you go,
How much is
right?
a pack of
But
Okay.
cigarettes up there?
what's that?
How much is a pack of cigarettes up there?
I don't know. I don't smoke, man. I can
Oh,
tell you.
it's
I
about
can
it's
tell you.
about $10-11 here.
I would think it's more, but I can tell you for sure. I can tell you.
Dude, I
But
heard in Australia it's like 200 something. It's like crazy over there.
yeah, it's
Australia,
crazy.
like nicotine, like it's sky high. Like I don't
Here's
think
one
people
thing
don't even want to smoke no more. It's just so
Here's one
dumb.
thing I will say. If you bought a house, a detached house, let's say 2013, if you bought a detached house, you're maybe paying, let's say you're paying about 400,000 for a detached. Fast forward 10 years, that same detached house is worth over a million or 1.2, $1.5 million. Okay, that's 10 years. Nobody's income has tripled in that time frame. And the thing about it is that I don't see, like, if you buy if people say you buy property, it always goes up. But I don't see how if someone buys a property at 1.5 million that is going to triple in the next 10 years. No way.
That's too crazy.
No
Yeah,
way.
it's too much.
Right. I mean, we're going through a housing crash market right now, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know if you noticed that in Houston, man, there's a lot of foreclosures going on, man. A lot of
yeah,
people can't
it's
afford to
happening here
pay a
too.
mortgage.
Yeah, it's happening here too. But it just goes to show, like, like there's no way in the last 10 years compared to the next 10 years, there's no way, because people's income, it ain't increasing by that much. And the way how there's a lack of family structure where everyone wants to live on their own,
Mhm.
Right.
you can't afford a house on one income. So I
Right.
don't
And
know.
yo, hold up. Before you even get, I got two things I want to mention, and I
Yeah.
want to get everybody's opinion. One is, what are your thoughts that they're going to make having a roommate illegal? Because right now they got that law enforced, and I think in Kansas or something like that. either
Mhm.
Kansas or Arkansas, where you're not allowed to have a roommate. The only way you can have somebody that live with you in a multiple crib, right? That person that will have to be related to you of some sort.
How
You
about
can't
a
even do
tenant
common law
then?
no more.
What?
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
see
what are
that
your thoughts
happening.
on that?
Yeah, how could they stop that? Like,
Nah, but
so
yo, but
what?
it's
They
But
it's
trying
a
to
I
make
think
everybody just get their
it's an
own
actual
individual
law in
place.
Arkansas. Y'all could Google it. Y'all could Google it
Uh,
right now.
does that include tenants? Can you have
Yeah,
multiple
tenants.
tenants?
Yo, you can't. I don't know about that. Maybe that could be different.
Okay.
Maybe you
So
could.
no,
I,
that's how you
Maybe you
get
could.
paid. You get with tenants, but roommates,
well,
I
yeah.
think that's that cheat code stuff that they don't want you to implement. But yeah,
Well, here's what's happening over here is that you have people who are buying $1 million properties that they can't afford, that they faked their income on, and then they put the minimum down, like 5% down. Their monthly mortgage is sky high. So what they do is that because we're bringing in so many people from India mostly, right? Like like every year, 300,000 people. Like no, sorry, every year 500,000 people are coming into the country.
The worst people.
300,000 300,000 is from one country alone, India, right? So you have a whole bunch of people coming into the country in mass. What people are doing is that because they know how certain Indians how they operate, they're putting them to live five, six, seven in the basement, tenants in the basement, and they'll have five, six, seven, eight tenants living upstairs, and they charge all of them $500 a month each, right? So normally, if you're renting out to this one person, you might end up getting the most $2,000 a month living in your basement, right? Or living on top floor. But if you're charging eight people in the basement and eight people on top, $500 each, you not only are you paying that high mortgage, you're also making a profit off of that as well too. And because a lot of these people who are coming to the country aren't really landed, they don't complain. They don't go through legal routes to know their rights and their rights and their obligations, and so they live with it, right? But then what that does, it creates this false market that you have houses that are selling when really it's just too much people in one house that's causing it to stay afloat, right? When you have like 10 cars in the driveway because you have so many people living in the house, that ruins the neighborhood. And it causes a whole
No.
bunch of logistic issues as well too.
Mm.
When your
That's
national
what's happening.
pastime, when your national pastime is cricket and gang rape, you're a shit country. Women
it was
can't even walk alone on the streets anymore. They have to walk in groups.
Yo, but you know what's crazy?
So rampant over there.
They got a program. I think it's in California or Arizona, one of the states, where it's called the Hacienda program, which gives the immigrants $30,000 for a down payment to
Mhm.
actually buy a house. And you know that the crazy part about that is that if you're an American citizen, you can't file for that.
Yeah,
Only
you don't get it.
immigrants can.
I think
Yeah.
that's Arizona. I haven't heard about it here, so I'm thinking it's Arizona.
Yeah, there's benefits that your own country won't give to you, which to me is
That's
crazy.
crazy to me. It's like there's no American dream anymore.
$30,000, man. That's crazy, man.
Like that American dream stuff that doesn't exist no more because even Americans can't even live the American dream right now.
Yeah, we're
and
screwed, bro.
and the argument is that, well, things cost so much, we have to give them so much money. But back when people were asking for help 3 or 4 years ago, the answer was there was no money. So where all
We don't
this
even
money come
treat
from?
our veterans right. Like, dude, there's so many
No.
veterans with PST and all the blown off limbs
Yeah.
and shit. They can't even get medical shit right.
Yeah, and the answer is
And here
always
we
the
are
same.
helping out
There's no
immigrants.
money.
Fuck,
There's
that's
no
not right.
budget for it. That they always say there's no budget, there's no money. But then there's always money for these programs that are given to illegals, which I find interesting.
money
Because
comes.
it'll help the Democratic Party. I don't know.
I
There's
guess
always a reason for shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But when, like I said, when you have multiple countries doing the same thing, that's a playbook they're following. So I don't know.
Like I think like eventually, because I don't think like I don't really consider Russia like an enemy. I think we can be cool with them. I really think we cool at some point. We were cool before. I think it can happen again. I just think we're just on different. I don't know. I just think it hasn't lined up yet. I think we can line up again at some point. China, I don't think will ever happen. No, China, no. But I think Russia. I think at some point, I think we could be cool again.
It might be too
Yeah,
late.
I mean,
Russia's with China now.
Putin told Trump like, "Yo, listen, let's work out a peace treaty right now. Send me whatever you got conjured up, and we'll politic about it now. And you ain't got to wait till you get in the office. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, so I like that type of shit. That's cool. I'm down with that.
You think Trump's gonna win?
To be real with you, I think Kamala might win, bro.
I think it's looking that way.
I think she might win, bro. Because
honestly, I've never seen a Trump ad on TV. During the Olympics, it was Kamala every other commercial break.
Yeah,
Not even joking.
money. She has money to blow on this, man.
I think networks are just afraid to do any Trump ads.
Yeah,
However, I do hear a lot of black people saying they're going to vote for Trump. I think there's a sway that they're not talking about.
Oh, that's mostly black men. I don't know about black women though. I think
black women they're voting for Kamala, man.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be close.
97%. 97%
be
the
honest,
last time.
Do you think that when you guys vote, that your vote for the president really matters?
No,
Well, yes and no. Because there's the electoral college.
Right. And thank you for saying
someone
that.
from me who's from California, I mean, if I vote for Trump, and I have, I don't think it meant anything, but I tried.
Right. No, because my thing is, I don't believe, like, even if we vote, we really matter. Like, it's always going to be about them. They're going to be the ones to really pick it. Because notice one thing. If you go look and check who votes for the president, they will initially tell you it's the electoral college. That's the first thing they'll tell you. Then they'll add on and say, well, it's a compromise between us picking the popularity vote and then them. Well, wait a minute. Well, why is it about popularity? Why is it about just picking the right person? Because they believe we're too stupid to pick the right person.
Here's why I think that it does matter. Because nobody thought Trump was going to win the first time. Nobody. True. Even I went to sleep thinking, oh, fuck, Hillary's going to win even now. I wake up, holy shit, that's the biggest upset, I think, in human history.
Yeah, it was. So you think that was an anomaly, or you think that was written?
I think that's what made me think that's what made me believe that voting does work.
Yeah, and I see where Wally's coming from. Like, I do kind of believe this. Like, I don't think your vote really matters. I think the powers that be is gonna choose a puppet to to be their representative. You know what I mean? Like,
think of it like this, right? Because I'll say this real quick. Think of it like this, right? I remember hearing someone said, think about every president and then think about what they passed. Every president has a specific quote unquote duty amongst passing laws, quote unquote. And it's like, that's how you know, like, some of this is not really contextual for us to really get anything. Like, and that's why, like, when you think back to Pac, he even said it back in the days. It's like, we'll never see it. There'll really never be a day of seeing a black president. But we was given one, right? We was given one, keyword, we was given one. In reality, did it all came to fruition of getting a true one? No.
But did he honestly do anything for black people?
Which is why I said, did we honestly get a true one? No.
Nah,
he was a gay president. Anything else, man?
Not help us at all, man. Hell no.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, the reality is, you're never gonna get a president to really help you, because guess what? All they can do is sign laws and bills from the Senate or Congress that they give out. So
yeah,
right. So my thing is, they put a shit to them, and then this is like, they just got to choose what makes sense and what don't, and that's it. You can't sit here and say nothing. Presidents don't have powers; they're just the puppets that they sell to us.
So what face you want?
Right, and that's why people tell you, go vote for your Senate, go vote for your Congress, because those are the ones that really matter.
But here's what I'll say about Donald Trump: there'll never be another president like him. Like, he's the only president that talked back, cursed. I remember the January 6th shit. He's like, man, that was bullshit. He actually said bullshit on TV. I was like, oh my God. He talked shit back to the press. I'm like, dude, We've never had a president like that, and that's what I kind
Yeah,
of
he
like
is the
about-
most polarizing guy. Yeah, he definitely
Yeah,
is the most polarizing guy.
Like the dude has balls. And if you think about it, here's why I like Trump. He's the only president that didn't take salary. He didn't take when he's president, he didn't take paycheck. And he's paying everything is out of his pocket. He's not doing it just because people are making him or things like that. He's doing it because he wants to. And dude, he's taking all this shit because he wants to. He takes a lot of shit, dude. He's the most hated guy probably in America.
And you know it's crazy because
when
you know
when you
I,
think of-
oh, go ahead.
when you- the way you put it, Gabe, the way you're painting the picture, yo, that's kind of like a noble thing he's doing, to be real with you, because he's already rich, you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, why are people saying that he's this and that? But when he's doing this out of his own pocket, he's not taking a salary. I think he's truly doing this because he wants to do this.
Me too. My bad, Wally, for cutting you off, but go ahead.
No, you good, man. You good. No, but I was just gonna add to it. And this is the crazy part, right? It's like the moment he chose to become president is the moment like everyone looked at him sideways, and
And nobody gave him a chance.
How?
Even from the
Like,
beginning,
yeah, all
from
started,
the
like,
inauguration,
crazy.
no one gave him a chance.
Well, yeah, no one didn't give him a chance because who's Donald Trump at the end of the damn day? He ain't nobody that's been in this round before, so of course no one didn't give him a chance. But like even me, I didn't give him a chance. I look at this as a publicity stunt. Like what the world? Like I didn't think of that, but now when you think about it,
Is he a bit full of himself? Yeah, I don't. But you know what? I don't mind that because I do think he is trying to like do what's best, even though even in his little twisted ways. Like I think he's done. He's tried at least. Like because he's the first one that's not really a real, politician. He's just some guy that says I'm going to run for president, and actually won. He's I think the first one I can think of that actually done that. Against all odds. Everyone had Hillary winning by like a landslide.
even he said that Hillary was a better candidate. That was the funny part about it.
The only thing I think where he made a mistake, I think he made a mistake by taking that debate with Biden. Because with him taking the debate and whooping his ass like that, that showed the Democratic Party that, yeah, we need to switch up. Because if he didn't take that debate, he would win by a landslide against Joe Biden.
Yeah, but everyone knew that was going to happen, though. Everyone knew that was going to happen, though.
I think the plan was always to have Kamala there. I think the plan was to bring her in late so they wouldn't know how to address her.
But that debate is what really sealed it off, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
there's never been a debate this early. Never been a debate this early. What did it happen in June? It's never happened. I think in American history.
Which kind of gives the notion that they always plan to bring her in, but bring her in at a point where the Republicans couldn't really create a game plan to go against her, because at that point they're focused so much on Biden they didn't even think about Kamala Harris. So I don't know the way how it looks. It's almost like they did a switcheroo at the last minute.
It is,
and now she's going to just win off the momentum. That's what it looks.
That's the only thing I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
just the whole situation was like, okay, and then the fact that she's now black and she's a woman, and it's time for that, and Americans nowadays are so.
Yeah, they've been prepped for this, right? Brainwashed, and far as women power, even stuff they see in the movies. It's all about women being powerful and in leadership roles. I don't know. It just seems like they kind of prepped or primed for this moment, man. So I don't know, man. But yo, I gotta head off.
PMP, dude, it's been a pleasure. I haven't talked to you in so long, man.
I know, Gabe.
So fun.
Respect, man. I haven't been on YouTube in that way. I haven't done anything on my channel either, man. But I try to listen sometimes, but life gets in the way,
we're always
man.
looking out for you. We're always looking out for you. So
I'm gonna show my face here and there, but respect to you guys. Rush, thanks for reaching out to me, man. Thanks for reaching out.
Thank you. Yeah,
Staking original.
I appreciate
There's
that.
not too many originals anymore. It's like you.
Yeah, I know.
Rush, me, Matt, and Moneyboy. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm glad he reached out, and you sent me the message, and I was able to come through. So I appreciate that. And everyone on the panel, respect, man. You guys take it easy.
All right, bro.
All right.
Love you, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Likewise.
Peace.
Yo, I think I'm gonna end the live too. So
Yeah, cool, man. Rush,
yo, let me get
As al-
let me get your,
Wally, Wally,
your final thought.
it's been great talking to you, man. It was fun talking about Marvel and shit. I hope
Yeah,
we'll talk
likewise.
again.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be starting my channel soon, so yeah.
And Rush, of course, State Gang Original.
Oh,
Always,
stay
fucking
gang
pleasure,
forever,
brother.
baby.
Always a pleasure. Love you, bro. So thank
Love
you guys.
you too, bro. Yo, Wale, man, what's your last words, man, before we done?
I mean, honestly, we went to so much topics. Hey, man, good show, man. That's all I have to say, man. Good show. The only thing I can only say that I just can't stand is how the hell are you gonna give Deadpool and the Wolverine 5? Man, you know what? We gotta talk about this, boy. I'm gonna have to see. Look, I already got to deal with sophisticated Drake. Now I got to deal with you too. Oh Lord, you trifling right now.
man.
That's a whole different show. I'll be ready for that one.
Yeah,
Right
we'll do
now,
part 2 for that. We'll do a part 2 for that, man.
All right, boys. Thank you.
All right, yo, later. Later, Wale.
Yeah.